Good. Okay, we are starting our thyroid workshop, and you are not going to want to miss the live demo. Hang in there. All right. How's everybody doing? Yeah, nobody wants to front row but Brian, huh?
You know, I'm like back here. I'm a front rower at church too. I know.
Yeah. There we go.
Just no, I mean, you know what I'm saying. That ain't big business to me. Look, broke down.
All right. Does everybody see that all right? Yeah, no glare on that. That's still okay, Sherry, in the back? Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Welcome. Oh, good. All right. So I'm Dr. Thomas Eddy. Thanks for being here today. And you're here to learn about the thyroid. Okay, good. If you're here for something else, you're welcome to stick around and we're talking about thyroid.
I asked if they were all here for thyroid. They said yes.
Okay.
So
Just making sure. So here's some of the fun things we get to see. My body isn't fighting me back, so I can do the things I love to do. Who's felt like their body is fighting them back from time to time? It's feeling like get tired and no energy and brain fog and it's a slog some days, right? Yeah. So we're going to show you the 3 secrets to healing your thyroid. And these are things that doctors typically miss. So we're also going to show you in real time a live demonstration of what's possible when we leverage the understanding and the knowledge we have. And so one of you is going to get an opportunity to get a treatment today. It's pretty cool. I think so anyway. It's one of my favorite parts. All right, so my family is what keeps me busy when I'm not here. And even sometimes when I am here, right? And my amazing wife, Emily, let's be honest, she really keeps it all running. We got 6 kiddos, and I could not do it without her. And yeah, there's our crew. So we're going to come back into the story in a minute. So my goal today is this. I want to show you natural ways to heal with 50 to 100% improvement, even when other systems have failed. Who's thinking, yeah, right? Be honest. Little skepticism. It's okay. Everybody's like, yeah, perfect. Let's do it. Anybody? Little feedback? Little skeptical? Anybody? Yeah, okay, good. That's why you're in the back, right? I'm sitting in the back. Perfect. Yeah, good. And you'll see why we can make that statement here in a little minute. But you're not alone. There's over 20 million in the U.S. dealing with thyroid. And let's be honest, guys underreport stuff. So there's probably way more than this. Yeah. And I'm not going to tell you how it messes you up. You already know that. But it's a big, big deal. What are the traditional truths? Let me just so I can understand kind of who is in here today. Who's actually been diagnosed with a thyroid condition. You know they've got something thyroid related. Okay, maybe not curious, yes, no. And then others are here supporting somebody else or learning or just curious, don't know yet.
Well, my mother had some thyroid trouble.
Okay.
And then I have fibromyalgia.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so good. Welcome everybody. We're going to talk about, you'll see actually how the concepts we go over apply to several different areas. And we're really going to hone in on thyroid. So traditional treatment options for thyroid, what's out there? What have you been given?
Anti-thyroid.
Okay, yeah, so if you have autoimmune thyroid or a hyperthyroid, they want to calm it down and they use meds to do that. Yes. Yep. Okay, what else? Yeah, so the other side, if you have a hypo or low thyroid, right, it's Synthroid, it's levothyroxine, it's maybe Armor or one of the other glandular ones. That sounds familiar. What else have anybody experienced or run into?
How about thyroid nodules?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily part of the disease spectrum that you're talking about.
Well, it is and it isn't. Nodules don't necessarily make the thyroid function differently, but you'll see why that even could be an issue in a little minute. So hang in there. That's a great question. But yeah, nodules don't necessarily mean that the thyroid is dysfunctioning. It means there's a growth in the tissue, and you'll see why that's important. Yeah, great question. But yeah, typically you're right. It's either prescription drugs to either lower it or raise it up, right? Change that. And then if that doesn't work, eventually, whether it's high or low, they go towards radiation and then removal. That's the track. Okay? And that really hasn't changed since the 70s. Thankfully, in the 70s, they found levothyroxine, and they said, oh, we can actually make some artificial thyroid hormone and give that to people, and that actually has really benefited many, many people. It's been a nice stopgap, but it doesn't solve anything. How many of you either are on meds or know somebody on meds and you're like, my numbers look decent, but I still feel like garbage? Right? It's like, yeah, all too common. So there's got to be a better way than just symptom management. And you need to understand too, like from my understanding, like the second leading cause of malpractice, or like they would yank your license if you are giving thyroid meds for if the numbers are normal, even though you might have thyroid symptoms. So like that, there's a whole other medical legal challenge that the medical community runs into with that. So all that aside, how do you fix this, right? What do we do about it? What's another way? We're gonna get to that, but like, this is what I've seen too. You're drained. You can't keep your busy lifestyle, right? Or just even a basic day-to-day. Mood swings, irritability, feeling overwhelmed, the brain fog. You can't get, like, the words literally come out different than what are in your head, or you can't find the words. Does that resonate for some of you? Yeah. And then it's like, who wants to live that way? You stop showing up. I don't, like, right? You just, depression, all those things can be, and honestly, even suicidal times. Those days can be really, really dark. So, how do we do it better? Let's talk about that. But I'll tell you a little bit of my background with this, because I never really wanted to be a thyroid expert. I wasn't like, hey, I'm going to go to school and learn and study that. Has anybody ever learned through the school of hard knocks and learn things the hard way? So yeah, that's been my journey with this. And so that comes back to my family. 6 out of the 8 of us are overcoming thyroid challenges. Okay, my wife, her father, my father-in-law, was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, or like hyperthyroid, when he was in his 20s, which is super rare, and especially in that era. And so she's had a genetic component for her thyroid, right, her whole life. And so that's been a challenge. And you throw in, she was a swimmer, she swam up through college. Chlorine in the pool messes with your iodine levels and will affect your thyroid. So there's a chemical element with that too. So her history has really set her up for some thyroid challenges. our kiddos, obviously with their genetics and so on, we got some other, like, they've had some thyroid challenges. Our youngest is, now she's 10, but we adopted her from China and she has Down syndrome. And so we know not anything about her early history. And we do know that obviously in that Down syndrome population, there's a lot of thyroid challenges. So like I've had to learn firsthand how to just support my own family. And then my mom and my sister have hyperthyroid. And that's a whole other thing. Like literally to the point where my sister, there's Graves' disease where the eyes can get really big. And hers started to get so big, they actually had to do 3 different surgeries so her eyes wouldn't dry out because her eyelids no longer closed over her eyes. So when I tell you I've lived through this and I've seen the pain and suffering it causes people firsthand. When you see a family member come home and they got bandages they can't see, like, yeah. And then not just that, but then all the other emotional turmoil that goes with it. And so I've lived this. And I go, we gotta make this better. There's another way to handle this. Okay, so that's my background with all this stuff. I've done, I don't know how many thousands of hours of research and study. And now I get to present and am invited to speak from time to time at different conferences and so on about what we've been able to develop and help people with. So that's my background on this. This is 21 years of practice for me now. Here's the big picture though. I'd love to be able to give you a different model to look through for your healthcare, if that's all right. Give you a different lens. Can I show you something like that today? And that's going to really help you understand what's possible out there. Everybody's trying to make physiology work. I don't care what field you're in, you want the body to work better, right? And so all kinds of people with great hearts want to help and do that. And so that's when lab values and hormones and all these different things. And just how's the body working and how do we improve that? Your physiology is governed by and run by your chemistry. Right? So if your chemistry's off, physiology doesn't work right. You try to get with me? Okay. And so your chemistry, that's all your organ functions, your vitamins, your medications, all that. Hey, perfect. Front row seat, Felicia. Welcome. You saved that one for you. No, that's okay. Let's do this so that you're all caught up. Who wants to share with Felicia a little bit of like, what's the nutshell of what we've covered so far? Little test time. You didn't know there was a test today. Who wants to share with Felicia?
You kind of had a calling to become a thyroid expert.
Yeah.
He's got 6 children.
Yeah.
6. 3 boys, so I can imagine 6.
That's why I said I'm giving my wife all the credit. She really is the one that keeps it together. Yeah, it was a calling. It really was. Not something I signed up for and had to learn through personal experience the hard way, Felicia, that how do we do it differently? Right? Because medications and surgery and all that just wasn't an option or working to really solve the underlying problem. Mm-hmm. So you're right at the part where we're talking about how do we do it differently? Okay, so that's yes. And so chemistry is running the physiology, and then underlying your chemistry, what makes your chemistry actually work? What gives energy to the chemistry to actually have it function? Physics. Okay, and so again, to demystify that, it's not some high school class we all hated. It was right. It's literally sunlight. What do we use sunlight for? We turn it into what vitamin? Vitamin D. Yeah, like this is becoming common knowledge now, right? So vitamin D. It also changes our wake sleep cycle. Jet lag, right? We sleep. Light's a big deal. Okay, and then electricity. Your body's electrical, right? Nervous system's electrical, and so that's a big deal. And then magnets or electromagnetics, Earth's gravitational field. Right, the pull of the moon. There's actually electromagnetic fields that come from the Earth. You throw in Wi-Fi and 5G and all this stuff now, and that's interfering with a lot of, you might hear some things out there on that. So all that to say, those are the basic layers of physics that allow the energetics to work so the chemistry can actually do its job better. Raise your hand if you're tracking with me. 2 of you. Okay. who did I miss?
I have one question.
Sure.
I've never had an actual test. What's the best test to see if you have this problem?
If there's a thyroid challenge?
Yeah.
Great question. Typically, blood test is your first line of checking. But you're also going to see how we can find some functional challenges in the body, like a physical exam,
Right.
that would also let us know what's going on and if there's a thyroid challenge.
Okay.
But typically, like actual diagnosis would be like a lab diagnosis,
Like a CBC.
blood test.
A CBC.
CBC wouldn't show that. It would be like, but similar in that they would draw blood and they would look specifically for thyroid markers.
Okay.
Great question. So, physics runs the show. Okay, say that with me. Physics runs the show. So if this doesn't work, you can have the best raw materials in the world in your system, but if you don't have the energy to run it, it just sits there. Does that make sense? Or it's less effective, like it just doesn't do its job. Okay, so keep that idea in mind. We're gonna dig a little deeper, and I think this is the nerdiest slide I have today. All right, so what I want you to get, remember, electricity and electrons were one of the main layers of physics. Okay, so when we breathe, we get oxygen, and we turn that into energy. And we burn 1 oxygen molecule, and we get 34 energy molecules back. Who thinks that's a good trade? Right? That means you got plenty of energy. You can keep going and going. That's why breathing's so important. Stop breathing and things don't go so well, right? So that's a big one. Where does it go through? What's that word? Electron transport chain. Is it the best diet on the planet transport chain? Is it the ideal environmental circumstances? No, it's electrons are needed to make energy. That's basic physics. Look up any textbook you want. That's how it works. You breathe oxygen and you take electrons, you move it across this chain of different other chemicals, and you literally end up with energy. Okay? That's how that works. When that system starts to fail and break down for various reasons, now we're running these other backup systems that give us 2 energy instead of 34. Do you see an energy debt developing? Right? So you start burning sugar and you get 2 energy. Thankfully, there's a backup. And even, who wouldn't want that trade? You spend $1, get 2 back? It's still a good system. But it's exquisitely inefficient when you can burn 1 oxygen and get 34. Right? And that's the way we're designed to run, is over here. Who's tracking with me? You're starting to see this energy debt develop. Okay? So now, your cells are literally batteries. Okay? Every cell, all the trillions of cells in your body, every one of them is a battery. They're positively, negatively charged. There's actually a battery charge in it. Okay? And so if you are fully charged up, you can heal whatever you need to. Right? You got energy to play with the kids and do things and think and all the ideas and all the things that need to happen, right? Require energy. So if you're fully charged, cool. And you need to make new cells when the old ones break down, right? So that works great. When you start to lose energy in the battery, the new cells that you make, how well do you think they operate? They might do pretty well, but you're going to lose some quality control. Right? You have to make room for mutations if you don't have the full charge, right? You can't protect everything. It's like, okay, we got to get these new cells out, but we can't catch everything because there's not enough energy to do it. Does that make sense? So think about your cell phone, right? If you're a fully charged battery, you can run all the apps you want. You don't think twice about it. When you start to lose power, oh man, I'm in that battery saving mode. I better start shutting down apps so I can make this thing last longer, right? Your body does the exact same thing. You're going to start shutting down things that are less important to make sure the most important things run right. Okay? When we get to this stage, we back up. So Brenda's question, the nodules. When you start growing more tissue, that's stage 1 in tissue breakdown. Okay, or in an energy debt model. So when you're here, you're fine. When you start losing energy, now you need to make more cells, because what are we doing? We're over here, right? We're making 2 instead of 34. How many more cells do we need to make up that energy difference?
32.
Right. We need like doubles of like, at least 16 to, right? We need, so are you with me? We need to actually create more cells to make more energy. That's a gross oversimplification, but that's basically what's happening. You need more mitochondria, you need more stuff to make more energy. So let's say we have to make more cells to make that happen. Now we have enlargement of the tissue. Okay, that's the first stage. So think about this. You may have heard of this, fatty liver, right? Enlarged liver. Cardiomegaly, enlarged heart. Splenomegaly, enlarged spleen. Right? Like these are all terms that are out there in the medical world for tissue is starting to lose energy. So we need to make more cells to create more energy. Are you with me? So now you've hired all these new workers, and none of them are trained. But you still got to get the job done, right? It's like, okay, we need more help here. We need more energy. Let's get some more people on board. Has there been a work environment like that? Is that a nightmare or what? Like nobody's trained and everybody's supposed to get the job. Yeah, it's like Brian's like, oh yeah. So how well does that work? It doesn't. It's crazy. You're doing the best you can, but it's not efficient at all. And then what do you do? Well, this is a really bad idea. Let's start firing these workers, right? Let's get rid of them because they're actually costing us more than they're helping. That's autoimmune, Jenna. Okay, now we've got more cells that they're actually not producing for us. And now it's costing the body more energy than we have energy to deal with. And we're going to start killing off cells. Now we're in autoimmune. Nodules would be in this arena.
Is that when the thyroid would be low?
Not necessarily. So nodules don't necessarily relate one way or the other. They commonly go with hyper or like an autoimmune reaction in the tissue, which is going to mean you're between these two battery charges, if you will. Okay? Yeah.
So the cell death thing is just cells that are whacked out that can't really do anything to help. Is that?
It's partly that, but it's also this normal process when the cells get up and tired. We have a normal process where, okay, that one's done. Let's get rid of that cell. Right? We don't need it anymore. We need to recycle it and make a new one. Okay? And that's called apoptosis. When you lose the ability to do that, that's bad. You can no longer get rid of toxic old cells. So you have to maybe sequester them off in the nodule. Or you need to attack them with your immune system. Does that make sense? That's the autoimmune piece. So that's what that would mean. And then we go one layer down, and that's when cancer is able to develop in the tissue. Okay, so here's the thing. This is not a workshop on cancer, but have you ever heard of anybody that has developed heart cancer? No, why not? Why not? What would happen, do you think, if the battery in the heart dropped below this? Any ideas?
It wouldn't be good, I don't think.
It wouldn't be good. Exactly. Yeah. He's like, catching the battle. Yeah.
Well,
You're probably gonna have some kind of heart event, right? Like a heart attack or like something. The battery in the heart drains too much. You're done.
I have atrial fib, and I still have it, but I had the flutter procedure, and I know that's what keeps the heart going. If you don't have the electrical system, you don't have it.
Exactly. And so that's another, you'll see how that ties into the next part of the workshop in terms of the neurology with it. But yeah, so that's the electrical signaling to the heart. That's a big deal. If the heart runs out of energy, you're in trouble, right? So in this model, you would never survive to where the heart could develop cancer because the battery's too low. Here's the take home. No cell on the planet is able and capable of developing cancer if it's charged up enough. If it literally has enough electrical charge in the cell, it cannot develop cancer. So here's the other thing. Cancer is not trying to kill you. It's been this war on cancer. Fight, 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 battle, battle, battle. Does that make you relax and easy and healing, or are you like fighting for your life? Cancer is actually trying to give you another day with your loved ones. It's the Hail Mary pass to make energy for your system because it's so depleted. So that is a giant flip upside down of our healthcare system, isn't it? But think about this. Why would your body make blood vessels to feed a tumor if it's trying to kill you? Does your body do that? Does that make any sense? But what if it's trying to keep you alive a little bit longer? One last question in this idea. Which would kill you quicker? Liver cancer or liver failure? Yeah, failure. You're done. Right? It shuts down and you're done. Same thing. Kidney cancer, kidney failure. Right? Failure is there's got nothing left. Cancer is actually trying to keep you alive a little bit longer. So, with that in mind, we do have several people that often will come and say, I've had thyroid cancer, I've had it removed. Like, so what do we know already about their history? Where is their battery in that tissue? It's really low. So this is to give you an idea of, depending on what you've been diagnosed with or, that sort of thing, maybe where your energy level is at and where you're at on your healing journey in this process. Is that helpful to kind of get a different viewpoint on that? Is that a little bit more exciting? Like, well, wait a minute. That's a way different way to look at things than, yeah, cool. Yeah.
So my wife had kidney trouble. She was on dialysis.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And then she basically went through dialysis for a year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when I got with her, that's when she started. But
yeah.
She has a transplant now, but the thing is that she, she had, when they went to go put a peritoneal catheter in, they found cancer in her perineum. So it was like all inside of here, like inside the inner lining of her stomach.
Sure.
Or not stomach, but the
abdominal area. Yeah.
And so that's when he found it as soon as he opened her up. So I mean, that might have been giving her a chance too to hang on with the dialysis longer until.
Yeah. Because when you're on dialysis, where's your kidney at energetically? How's the battery doing on the kidney?
Yeah.
Right? It's down really low.
Yeah.
But what's more important, your kidney function or abdominal function, like organs and stuff? Like your digestion, okay, we can go a few days without food, but if your kidney's done, you're done. Does it make sense? So, like, conceptually, I've been trying to find a way to break this model, and I just haven't found it yet. Like, if you take any healthcare condition and you run it through this model, I would love to know if you find one that breaks this model. I'm not saying it's not out there. I haven't found one that doesn't. And that main one with the heart question was the big kicker for me. I was like, oh my goodness. No one really gets heart cancer. That makes total sense. And it's way more encouraging to think, oh, I'm cancering. My batteries are low. I still got a chance, right? I'm not trying to fight this thing. I'm not saying that drastic measures aren't needed at times, but I'm just saying conceptually, it's a different mindset approach, right? Than all this terror and fear that is just, man, that's a whole other topic. Okay, can we get back to thyroid? That's why we're all here. So is that helpful to see though? Does that bring a little bit more understanding how the lens that we look through in terms of healing? Okay. All right. So for the sake of time, Laura, she talks about a bunch of numbers. Who's aware of TSH? So some of you are. That's the main number to Brian's question. What are they looking for on lab work to see is my thyroid in range? That's the thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH. Okay. And then other ones are T3 and T4. Those are the hormones your thyroid makes. Bottom line is Laura had autoimmune thyroid. Her antibody levels were over 1,000. Okay. And her TSH was over 40. What does that mean? Antibodies, that's the army that's out to fight whatever. And so her antibody, her army attack, her own body was attacking her thyroid in like record numbers, okay, giant amounts. The normal range in that is under 17. Okay, so she had over 1,000. You with me? And then her TSH, and here's what you need to understand about TSH, that typically your providers aren't telling you. If a TSH of a 1 was 1 hormone, a TSH of 2 would be 10 hormones. A TSH of 3 would be 100 hormones. TSH of 4 would be 1,000 hormones. TSH of 5 would be 10,000 hormones. The normal range for thyroid is between 0.5 and 5, or 4.5, depending on the labs, whatever lab is testing. But it's basically between 1 and 5 is the range. Can you see the giant amount of difference and fluctuation in that? So you can be normal labs and feel like junk, but they can't medicate you, or your medication is normal. Are you with me? But then you go to 5.5. Oh, well, now there's a disease, and now we can, that makes no sense whatsoever. So we look at things in a different lens. We're looking for optimal function, not just, are my numbers normal, right? Because you're a person and not a number. So Laura probably would have told it way faster than I just did. The bottom line is she got way better. Her TSH dropped from 40s into like upper teens, so she wasn't done yet, but we made a giant change in how her thyroid was functioning, and her antibodies levels dropped to under 100. So that's Laura's win, and that's the context of that. I feel absolutely better, Nancy. We can share stories with this. These are just people that have been in your shoes not long ago, but if you want those links, I will send them to you. Feel free to watch their stories. I want to show you the root cause, experience the actual 3-pronged approach that makes this better, and then hopefully get some help for your own healing back. That's my real goal for you today, okay? So let's dive into that. And repeat after me. You can't be in a state of crisis and healing at the same time.
You can't be in a state of crisis and healing at the same time.
Right? So if your house is on fire, are you going to be rearranging furniture and redecorating? No, right? It's just, no, we got to put out the fire. We're in crisis mode. Your body does the same thing. And here's where this happens. Here's the pituitary axis. And I'm sorry, the pituitary thyroid axis. Your brain starts the process. Hypothalamus in the brain, okay, sends TRH. There's no test on this, but for those that are really into the science part, here it is. That's the hormone that the hypothalamus releases, goes to pituitary, also in the brain. So the first 2 steps in thyroid are in the brain. Who's looking at brain? How many of your endocrinologists are there not? So brain and brain goes to pituitary that then makes TSH. That's the main lab number they're looking at. If the number is too high, your brain's yelling at your thyroid to work hard. If the number is way too low, it's like we have to whisper because they're really touchy. Okay, it's like that. Does that make sense? So that's TSH. Your thyroid then makes 2 hormones. Primarily, it's T4. Okay, and then the T4 goes to your different organs, primarily your liver, and which on the right side of the body for most people, and the guts. And it converts T4, which is inactive, to the business end, which is T3. So if you're taking levothyroxine or what have you, that's a T3. They're actually giving you the end product to try to regulate the system. Because how many cells does that hormone need to reach? All of them or all of them? Right? Like you need so the T3 is the key in the ignition when cars used to have keys, right? And that actually makes the cell kick on and say, oh, let's ramp up metabolism. Let's get some energy going. All right. So that's the pathway. Here's all the places it can get disrupted. Signaling can be a problem. Nutritional deficits can be a problem. Conversion disruptors, if it's not converting right in the gut or the liver. You can get blocked with absorption, right? The hormone's not being absorbed properly. Even if you're taking a medication, maybe it's not absorbing in the gut right. That can affect levels. You with me? Also, reverse T3 adapting inactivation, basically under stress, that's when it'll shut down. Okay, and it basically takes your thyroid hormone and it puts it away for a rainy day. Okay, so when you're on fire, when the house is on fire, it hides that hormone to go, if we're really in trouble, then we're going to release it, but not until then. Okay, like in dire straits. Is that, you're tracking me? So all these areas can get blocked, and I highlighted a couple, you'll see these little red dots. Here's where stress and trauma will interfere with it. So signaling, it'll affect your, there it goes, conversion, absorption, reverse T3, it'll even block down here the cell. Your hormones function at the cell, stress and trauma will block that. Okay, so is that helpful to see? All right, so these are all the different areas where they can get blocked in its function, and most endocrinologists or medical doctors are only looking at TSH, maybe T3, T4, and they might be looking at antibodies, you know, if there's an autoimmune, but that's a different animal, okay? So what do we do about the stress response? It's a big deal though. For ladies, it's what, 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 have had some sort of abuse in their life. Physical, sexual, whatever, right? For guys, it's roughly 1 in 6, but I think those numbers are underreported as well. Okay, but that's a big deal. And then you throw in global things like, you know, pandemics and whatever, right? And we're all a little nuts. So the stress levels are a major, major player. Because why? You can't be in a state of crisis and healing at the same time. Okay? So, here's what happens. Social engagement, everybody's having fun, talking, enjoying life, playing games, curious, right? That's where we want to kind of hang out most of the time. And then you go, well, I like this, so it's creative. And then this line, the up and down like that, like on the Discovery Channel, when that little gopher guy pops his head up and looks around for danger and then goes around. You've seen that before? That's what we do. We hear a noise. What was that? Oh, it's fine. It's whatever. And we go back to what we're doing. So that's that line. When you hear too many of those, or whatever, there's too many triggers, then we start going, whoa, panic, fear, anxiety. Something's not right, danger. And we go into fight, flight mode. You've heard that before? Yeah. We're either going to lean in to fight it, or we're going to retreat and run away from it to survive. When those two systems get overwhelmed, we go into, and so that's I must fight this, or I must run away. Okay? When that starts getting overwhelmed, then it's I can't. And I see way too often with thyroid for various reasons. I don't know, energy, I can't. The stress that shouldn't be bothering me totally is, and I can't anymore. Or you've been dealing with it forever and ever and ever, and you're just literally overwhelmed. Dissociation, numbness, that can get into even helplessness, shutdown. You see how, and those are the really dark days when you're feeling depressed and even suicidal at those points. Okay? And I've been there. And I don't want anybody to have to live there 1 second longer than they need to. So, then we can ideally deactivate, things calm back down, and we can go back to this open curiosity again. But if you don't have enough energy, what happens? Where do you stay stuck? Okay. Does that resonate with some of you? So, what do we do about that? Boy, that's a really cheery thought, Doc. Thank you. Right. So, in your bag, I think it's not in there. It's in the folder, one of the two.
It's in the folder.
It's in the folder. Awesome. There's a handout that has this on it. And this is one way you can use this at home today to start resetting your body from fight, flight, freeze back into resting, healing, relaxation mode. Okay? I want to show you how to do this. So you can read through that in a minute, but I'm going to give you the fast version, Cliff Notes, and you can teach this to a 3-year-old. Okay, our daughter, when we adopted her from China, is one of the first things we showed her. We hug her and all those things, and then you're doing this because we know there's a lot of trauma there, right? So very simply, on the wrist, on the thumb side, on your radial pulse, there are a couple of buttons, and it helps put one hand on the other one like that, and then wrap the fingers on the thumb side. If your hands don't allow you to do that for whatever reason, you can do it this way. It's not wrong. It just bonks me in the face when I try to do it, so I like to go around that way. Okay? So I'm gonna, just like that. Yeah, let's line them up a little bit, like right in there. Perfect. Yep, that'll work. You got it. That looks good. Yeah. Yep, honey's a pro. That looks good. We just line them back a little. Yeah, like the spacing is great. Just kind of lining the fingers up a little bit, Jody, would be perfect. Yeah, and we'll go starting right there. Sure, yeah. You got it. Yeah, right on that side. Perfect. So that's what it looks like. And then here's what we're going to do with that. You can rest the hand for a second. I want you to think of something that stresses you out a little bit. I don't want it to be a level 10, flashback, okay? I want it, we're looking for something that's like, this is bothersome. This is really maybe like a 5 or 6 tops. Don't go crazy on this right now, all right? So maybe it's a person at work, or it's a family member, or it's that crazy uncle, or whatever it is for you. And I want you to think about that and how that makes you feel. Or maybe there's an incident that happened and you just can't get over it, right? You already all have something. Notice what it's like in your body. Really helpful to bring some awareness. Like for me, when I think about it, it's like, my neck's a little tighter, my chest a little tighter, my breath is less. Right, just bring awareness to what you're feeling. Feel a little bit more in my stomach right now. So it takes some practice to feel that if you're not really familiar with that, but that's a really good helpful tool. But just rate it, the scale of 1 to 10. How much does this bother me? Like when I think about it, when I really let myself think about that, it really is. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I don't like how that feels. Everybody have something like that? Mm-hmm. So then what you're going to do is link up the buttons on the one hand. Okay, and then you're going to give yourself permission to feel that. If you can name the feeling, great. I feel angry, mad, sad, scared, whatever it is. Maybe it's all of them. Okay. Overwhelmed, right? Whatever that is. And then just put your hand on your forehead and give yourself permission to feel that for a second. Typically a minute, 2 minutes tops. And when you notice that feeling shifting, relaxing, changing, going more towards neutral, you switch and trade hands. So you do that at your own pace. And just nice, deep, relaxed breathing from the belly. You trade to the other side. When that feels like that, it's kind of more neutral or resolve some. You can rest your hands down.
Not the pressure like on.
So technically there are different pressures. You can use light or deep touch, but when you're feeling it at home, just do whatever's natural. There are times when I'm like squeezing my wrist, and there are other times when it's real light, like there's enough tissue on there. It doesn't, like, your body will naturally do what's going to work. So don't sweat that part. That's,
So after a little while, I felt my pulse.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, so you might become aware of it, right? So sometimes, and that's a whole other pulse diagnostics you can go into, but like sometimes it's different feelings, but yeah, that's common to go, oh, I'm aware of my pulse here now. And so, yeah, it really changes the neurology in the body. Okay, the research on this is unbelievable. There's literally no other technique out there that has the research this does. Pre and post brain MRIs prove it works. Okay, so this is not some whatever, learned a weird thing at a workshop. Like, I've literally spent over 6 figures learning how to be able to do this. Okay, so I'm sharing that with you for free today. Will you please use it? Yeah.
Is this something you would utilize in the moment? Like
Yes.
thinking back on the memory is one thing,
Right.
but like when you're
Great point,
whatever.
Jenny. So yeah, with that one, tell you a quick story. I was driving along, I had kids in the back, minivan, and we're doing whatever, and the kids are doing kid stuff. And I'm about to flip my lid and blow a gasket and drive us off the next cliff we come to. One of those things. And I'm like, I have no idea why this is even happening. But whatever it was, just kind of triggered something in my nervous system. And I had enough frontal lobe left to go, I'm going to pull over and deal with this. And so I pulled over, and it wasn't the kids, it was just me. I was dysregulated. And I just breathed. And I'm a man of faith, so I was praying. But if you're like me, sometimes the prayer doesn't feel like it goes anywhere. It's like, I'm praying, but come on, I'm still feeling that. And so this changes the neurophysiology. And it all calmed down. And Dad came back in about a minute. And we went and had a great day. Okay, so it can work that quickly. And then I was curious, later on, what was that about? But in the moment, I didn't have the bandwidth to deal with it. I had to drive it somewhere safely and not be the mean dad that nobody wants, right? So that was just a quick story to highlight that for you. It's in the moment, right? And then the next one I'm going to show you, which I'll let you kind of read through on your own, is the heart focus, which is proactive. Okay, so all the research shows when you're holding gratitude and love in your heart, it changes everything in your neurochemistry and your hormones in a positive way. Okay, so that's heart focus technique, and that's the next one that's in your booklet there. But very simply, think of a time when you had deep, heartfelt gratitude, appreciation, love, felt cared for, protected, cherished. All those are great things. And then just in your mind's eye, picture your area around your heart. For me, I'll put my hand on my chest, or heart's about the size of the fist, so I'll kind of do that. And just give myself permission to focus on that area. A lot of times I'm in my head because I have to solve a lot of problems all the time, right? So it's like I go down here, feel that beating. And for me, I picture when my wife came down the aisle. We're about to celebrate 25 years in the next month, and that's a great memory for me. And so I think about her, and I feel that love and gratitude. And then picture your heart pumping that through your entire body. Down to your toes, up your shins, legs, abdomen, till it's spilling out your head and your ears, and you're just soaking in that gratitude and that love and appreciation. And you hang out there as long as you can. Maybe you're at a red light and you got 30 seconds. Right, but you can include this in your day. You can do it when you're brushing your teeth. So this doesn't have to be one more thing to do. Find something else to link it with in your day and just add that in. And it starts to change everything in your world. Okay? So those are giant. We could probably end there and you guys would be better than when you came in. Okay? But we're going to keep going. So is that helpful to see? An experience. Oh, can I? All right. I want to bring Honey up. If you're okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Just to share your experience with this, because she just has been new to this, right?
Very.
Yeah. So would you mind coming up for a second and just share your honest experience? And can I set up a little bit? I won't share details, but when she came in today, and her stress levels are a 6 or 7, I think you said? About a 7, with a current event that was happening in her world. And then we went through a similar thing, a little more detail when we do one-on-one work with it. But what was your experience with all that?
So when I came, very short, I had a pretty bad argument with a family member on Sunday that really crushed my spirit, and I was really sad, and it's really bothering me. and I've been very raw. Actually, since I've started coming here, that was only my third session. And I felt very open to what was going on. I've had some experiences of trauma. And when I came in, I was feeling very upset, very, very emotional. And by the time we were done, I felt, and I still feel, I feel amazing.
Amazing.
It's kind of hard. It's a little hard to describe, honestly. It's when he first asked the question, "Is this real?" I sat here too. This is how I got here, and I thought this was. Not sure how I felt.
Right? That's okay. That's honest.
Yeah.
That's all we want is honest. Yeah.
And so far, because I am also a woman of faith, I feel like the Lord has led me here, and I feel like it's really changing my life. But I'm just in the beginning stages of that. So today, this really helped me. I feel more confident because in what I need to do in this relationship. So I feel like I can face that and without fear. I dealt with a lot of shame and fear today. A lot of stuff's coming up that's kind of was triggered some stuff. And so, so I feel much calmer. I feel much better.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for being brave and sharing. Yeah. So it can like literally work pretty quickly. Sometimes you're at level 7 for a week or two at a time. I've been there. Right? It's just like, when is this gonna jug? And we can calm the nervous system down, get you out of fight, flight, freeze. Calm it down. And this is a tool you can start using at home right now. So that's what I'm trying to give you is like, instead of being in crisis mode, how do we give you tools now where you can literally go home and start to do this stuff and start your own healing journey, whether we work together more or not. That's my heart is to get you help.
Sadly, I didn't use it on Sunday.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like,
Because that's why I said,
Yeah.
I forgot I had that.
I've got these tools, like, oh yeah. So yeah, that's a compliment, right? Okay, awesome. That's the heart focus one. Read through that. If you ever have questions, just send us a text, whatever. We're gonna help you, answer something like that if we need to. But those are really powerful, proactive ones that you can practice regularly. And then the other one is like if you're in the moment or you're going, yeah, that was a big deal. I need to work through some of those feelings that's still there. You can use that one. Think about like flossing for your emotions. So you can do it in the morning, do it in the evening, the stress before the day begins and the stress after the day's been done. And what about tomorrow? Like all those things. That's a great one to employ there too. Okay. So, Honey's was better, but yeah, transforming people's lives from overwhelm to back to normal. That's secret number 1, right? Number 2, you okay if we go on? All right, because I'm already at almost 5. Can you tell I love this? So here's the deal. Inflammation. You've heard that's a bad thing. Okay. So what is the inflammatory trigger? What's number 1?
Stress.
Yeah. Prolonged stress. But we covered that one and spent a lot of time on that. Pathogens. We are number 1 in the world for what pathogen in Pennsylvania here? What disease? What microbe? What infection? Anybody know? Lyme disease. Tick-borne. Okay, tick-borne illnesses. We're number 1 in the world. So, but right, immune system can mess you up. So that'll create a lot of inflammation and make things worse. Obviously, junk food, right? Certain medications, all of them have side effects. And then heavy metals, I'll briefly mention that. Let's say there's a mercury over here, and all of a sudden OSHA has all these rules that you have to deal with mercury in a certain safe way. But then your dentist puts it in your mouth, and it's fine. And then they have to take it out for whatever reason, change your filling, and then all of a sudden you got this mercury again, and they have to do all the same OSHA regulations as when it was something doesn't add up. Right? So mercury is literally a known neurotoxin. It's a poison, and it will absolutely wreck your thyroid. Okay? So that's just, there's way more we can talk about on that, but sometimes dental health and dental issues are related to why thyroid's not working right. Okay, because mercury won't poison the brain, and where do the first 2 steps in thyroid start? In the brain. Okay? So, and then dehydration, half your body weight in good spring water a day. Like, you gotta have good quality water. Hydration is a big deal because the lymphatics That's your drainage. Your hormone, thyroid hormone, goes through the lymph first. So if there's not enough fluid, you got sludge, you can't move thyroid hormone through. Make sense? So hydration is a big deal. So here's where inflammation blocks it. Signaling, conversion, absorption, and reverse T3 also 2 or 3 times there. So inflammation wrecks you. When we start removing that, we see stories like Isabel, this wonderful French lady, very thick accent, really fun sense of humor. But she came in and on her paperwork, she said, Doc, in 1 to 3 years from now, if something's not different, I'm going to be dead. Now she had type 2 diabetes, thyroid problems, like you name it, she had a litany of things going on. We started to remove the toxins, recharge her batteries, restore the energy levels in her system, and help her retain that. And we did that through various different therapies. Now she says, I'm on top of the world, flying on a cloud, no matter what are the circumstances. I'm feeling better, at my best in my body at 53. A year ago, I was very, very sick. She came in last week, still doing amazing. This picture, well, let me back it up a second. One day she's feeling amazing, came in, give me a bill. She's like, Doc, I'm doing great, but here's a bill. I'm like, Isabel, what's going on? I'm like, tell me more. And she said, none of my clothes fit, none of my underwear. I need an entire new wardrobe, and I'm giving you the bill for that. So that was her French sense of humor. And so we had a really good laugh about it. But this picture here is 70 pounds lighter. And she dropped another 15 since then. Yeah, so, right, yeah, no, is everybody like that? No, but I'm just sharing these stories of like people that are literally deathly ill. When you start to treat the body and get the energy pumped back in, you can see your life come back. And she's got a daughter in college, all the family, like this is not just, it's like change your world. So when we start doing that, we see cool things. Number 3 then is actually healing at the speed of light. And this is where we're going to show you in real time what's happening, what's possible. All right, so let's do this. Has anybody had thyroid challenges for more than a decade? All right, Kelly knows that she has, that's nobody more than 10 years? Has it been more than 10? How many has it been?
I officially was diagnosed 18 years ago.
18 years ago, almost 2 decades of your life. Wow. So we can help Kelly, right? There's a good chance that you might get some support too. Is that fair? So we're gonna pick Kelly. Kelly, come on up. Nothing's gonna hurt today, okay? Nothing's gonna be sore. So let's give her a round of applause because I think after high school we get platformed like 2 or 3 times in our life, so we love to give So all right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through some screening tests to see what's happening. And Kelly gets that opportunity. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use the range of motion in the shoulders. Okay. And the reason we're doing that is because one of your rotator cuff muscles relates to the thyroid gland. And then we're going to test the function of the thyroid, or the teres minor, which is the rotator cuff. See what that's doing. And then we're going to look for how much energy you're actually producing. Okay? Or, yeah, pretty much. We're going to look for tenderness on your collarbones and then check the reflexes. Like when you tap a knee, right? There's a kick. It's not, you don't think about it, it just happens. We're going to do some neurological testing and see what the reflexes are doing for the hormone relays. Okay, so that's the fast overview. How are you feeling now, energy-wise? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 is I've got all the energy I need. 0 is literally put me in bed. I am done.
Probably about a 5 right now.
A 5
I'll
right
sleep
now.
at the desk at work.
Okay, yeah. So, and then is that common for this time of day for you?
Oh, afternoons, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Anybody else 10 more in the afternoon? This friend is like, yeah. So okay, so we can make it better than a 5. That would be some kind of win, right? So obviously it's subjective, but that's her feeling. So let's see what we've got going on here. Stan, any shoulder phones I should know about?
No.
No real injury, yeah, nothing.
No,
Like,
nothing.
okay, good. So let's see about range of motion. Let this relax completely. We're gonna see how it wants to move. That one's moving great. I don't think we're gonna see any changes with that, right? Yeah. Yeah, so they're both moving fine, so range is not a big deal for her. Or just by your side like this. The teres minor, I can say this, my dad was a truck driver for forever and ever. And so the guys with the big gut and the butt and their hands go backwards. You know, people watchers out there? Anybody? Yeah. So when you're watching, next time you're in the store, whatever, watch to see whose hands are turned backwards. The teres minor does this, and so if it's not working, it's going to do this. Hands turn backwards. That's a good indicator thyroid's not happy. Okay, so bring this by your side, wrist out like this. I'm going to push toward your midsection. Don't let me move that arm. Okay. And hers is inhibited. She has some strength. There's some resistance, but it's moving. Okay, this one here, bring that one out to the side. Hold that out strong for me. Okay, yeah, and that's also weak. If it was just one, it might be a shoulder problem, but it's both. Typically more gland related. You can rest those for a second. Everybody with me so far? So now we're going to do repeated muscle activation. That means all we're going to do is try to do 100 contractions before the muscle. The muscle should not fatigue until we reach at least 100 contractions. Okay, so who else is really hot?
Yes. I turned the air.
Oh, I know. It's
down.
just like
What's going
it
on?
bakes over here in the
Sorry.
summertime.
Do you want me to
So-
shut that?
What's that?
Do you want me to shut that to keep some of the heat out?
I'm okay with that if you guys are.
Are you guys okay with that? I'm trying to get.
Turn the thumb down for me here, Kelly. You're gonna hold that up in the air. I'm gonna push toward your face. Resist that pressure. And that's solid. That's not going anywhere. I'm gonna turn the muscle off one time. We shorten it. Push up in my hand. That's normal neurology. Push up in my hand again, and it turns right back on. Okay, so the stretch receptor in the muscle, I won't get into all of that, but bottom line is that's a normal working muscle. Okay, elbow straight. We're going to try 100 contractions. You ready? So all you got to do is just resist my pressure. I'm going to push on that 100 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 30. 40. 50. 60. So about 65, and she's fading now. You notice that? So yeah, and we can check out on any muscle in her body, and she's going to be roughly in that 60-ish range. Now this is, remember when we burn oxygen and we make energy out of it? This kind of gives us a physical exam clue of how well is the body recycling that energy? Are you able to make enough to keep doing activity? And if you're less than 100, your battery's not charged where it needs to be. Does that make sense? So what we know is, and she said she's feeling a 5, her body's saying she might be maybe 6.5, but it's really not recovering the way it needs to keep making enough energy for her body to work right. Is that, you tracking with me? So that's a quick way we can guess, not guess, but assess where the physiology is actually working. Next one, you can try this on yourself too. Find your collarbone, center your collarbone, and then below that, about 2-3 ribs, is often a tender point. If that's sensitive or sore, it usually relates to thyroid function. That's like the toilet handle for your thyroid gland. So at home, you can rub that out. It'll often be very sore, like a bruise, and that'll help to increase the function in the thyroid by dumping trash. Okay, so we'll just kind of get a measure on that. So 10 is really painful, 0 is no pain. What do you notice there?
Annoying.
Annoying. So like a 1, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing major on
Yeah.
that one. And this side here,
More.
we're a little bit more on the right.
Mhm.
Yeah, put a number on
Maybe
that.
3.
A 3. So nothing dramatic, but
Yeah.
noticeable. Whereas if we go to a different rib, you go here, it's like nothing. Yeah, same thing. Nope, really don't. Yeah. So it's localized to that area. All right. And the next thing is going to be the hormone team. So remember, hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid, and then it converts in the liver and guts. Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, that's good.
I want other people to know as
Yeah.
well as I do.
Are you with me? So we're going to check these different reflexes. These develop from when you're an embryo. And then your skin, your ball, right? And then we grow arms and legs and heads, and so this expands into the skin. The same layer of cells that develops in your brain and nervous system develops into your skin. Pretty cool. So we're going to check these. That's why we can touch the skin and get a reflex in the nerve system. You tracking with me? So arm straight here. I'm going to push down. You're just going to lift up in my hand. And then the reflex for hypothalamus is on the head here. Lift up in my hand. And so that one actually starts to fade. Push up in my hand. So she can't even hold that contraction anymore. The next one is bridge of the nose. That's your pituitary. So I'll be grab on that. You don't need to type it. Just kind of touch it right there. Yep. Arm straight and hold that up strong. and we're checking pituitary reflex, and that one's also a little tired out. Doesn't tell us what's wrong, but that there's an issue happening. The reflex is not normal. You tracking with me? So let's go to the thyroid, right in the notch of the neck. Yep, up a hair. Right there is great, Kelly. Push up with my hand, and we see thyroid problem. Now, is this a surprise? She's had this for almost 2 decades, or at least diagnosed for 18 years. Let's go to the liver. Her hand's going to go on the lower right ribs, go up a little bit more and flat hand. We'll cover all that real estate and hold that up strong in my hand. And we see liver is having a hard day. Okay, and then the gut, so just kind of over the belly button area is fine. And then hold that up strong there for me too. So we're seeing all the relays, the conversion areas and the brain relays are, right, there's a challenge on them. Now if we go to something else, like spleen, for example, on the other side, push up for me there, that reflex is intact. So it's not everything that's with me, but there's different reflexes for all the different organs. We're just checking the ones that are thyroid associated. Okay, so you can rest that down. So we had a general idea of all the relays are challenged, the conversion areas are challenged, and 65 reps, right, before she fails, and we got a level of 5 or so energy this time of day. Right? Terry's minor's weak, range of motion is fine. That's kind of what we know. Okay? So what we're going to do now is actually treat her. So nothing's going to hurt. We're going to use physics to add energy to your body. And the physics we're going to use today is light. All right? So I'll have you sit here. And if you want to get up and move around and see what's happening for Kelly, feel free. We're going to use 3 different kinds of light in there. So let's do that. Can you hold that on the heart area? Yeah, that's going to go on the back of the head, make it a little warm. Okay. Now, typically, patients with, let's go here on the liver, won't necessarily have all of these running at once, but because we're doing a demo, we need to put some energy in, right? So we're going to add several at a time. But again, here we go. With the GI, you're going to have to help hold that one as well. And then while she's kind of cooking with this, I'm going to show you what's going on as we help to start to help her out with the light. So when we start using light, again, that's physics, right? We see thyroid peroxidase antibodies reduce. We see tissue regenerate. Pain gets better. Inflammation calms down. Immune response changes. Why would all that happen? Yeah, it's low in energy, right? And what are we doing? We're supplying energy. What's happening to the batteries right now? Yeah, we're recharging batteries with physics.
We should call it the Superman theory.
Right? Yeah.
Because that's what he has to do, is to go out in the sun.
Right? Yes, exactly. The Superman needs.
Is that what this is here?
Yeah, so in there are at-home therapy devices.
Oh, okay.
Is that what that means? I got it.
That's what I have. I have it at home. That's what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a laser. And so what we're not showing, what Kelly's in here, this chair and these blue machines here is electromagnetic fields. It's like a magnet that turns on and off quickly. And that magnet, like when your cell phone dies, you put it on the induction charger, it's electromagnetics. You may have heard of Tony Robbins before. And he sleeps on this before he does his presentations. They had to make it like a 8-foot long one because he's so tall. Right? But he has these in his homes, and he uses like, so this is a lot of your pro athletes have these in their homes or in the locker rooms. So electromagnetics make things heal quicker. This is fractures heal in half the time, like literally half the time. So that's light is what we're using here for Kelly. The other thing I'm going to put here for you is this guy. And you can keep your shoes on and go ahead and put them right on here. This is simply a vibration plate. And let's get that a little bit quicker. How's that? So far, so good. So vibration reduces stress, the right kind of vibration, right? If you're pushing a hand mower, right, your hands go numb and tingling, that's the wrong kind of vibration. But when you said massage here, you're like, oh. So the vibration can make things better or worse. And it also enhances lymphatics. And so that's why we're using vibration therapy for Kelly right now. The other thing we commonly use is the ion cleanse detoxes. So if you look to your left, you'll see those stationed with the foot baths. Water starts clear, and then toxins start to get pulled out of the body. So it does detox, make the water turn rose colors. But the more important thing is it floods the body with electrons. And what does that do for your energy level? Make it better or better? Because you need energy to detox. And then when you get more toxins out, you tend to retain your energy better. Right? So this is a win-win. If there was a cleaner, less messy way to do it, I would have done it. We've been using this thing for, well, pretty close to 20 years. And if
Is
there's
that at all related to those patches they have now?
great
I've seen what you
question.
put on the bottom of
You know,
the-
I haven't seen, I think that's a chemical reaction in the pad. I can't say it's really pulling junk out. Clinically, I've not seen a lot of difference with that. These, absolutely. I've seen frozen shoulder go away in one session, which wasn't a frozen shoulder, it was a toxic shoulder, right? So, or not enough energy in the shoulder. Yeah, so that's not super
So
common, but
it's
yeah.
directed to wherever your body needs it.
Right, exactly. Your brain and nervous system know exactly where that energy is needed. It's going to put it where it needs it. And then the miniature
So it's
ions
almost
go in.
like a blockage that then is released and dispersed through the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ions in the water are little miniature magnets, and they grab onto the toxin and pull out the water. But the bigger thing is you're going to keep dumping toxins after the session. So the lasts for 2 to 3 days after each session, and the research is pretty unbelievable. They studied Roundup, and they did, I think, 3 sessions a week for a month, and they found, I don't remember, it was like, whatever, 5x, 10x, they found Roundup coming out in the urine. After just doing that, they did no other interventions, no diet change, nothing. Just helping them get more energy so they can clean out better.
Question.
Yeah.
So, kind of random. What it detoxes from, can that help with heavy metals?
Absolutely.
My husband's lead levels, he's firearms instructor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to talk. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, lead's
really
no
high.
good. So yeah, that's it. But again, with that sort of thing, you have to be a little more careful with the other systems. You got to support energetically. You got to energize kidney and liver and make sure that they got enough battery juice to be able to clean the junk out. You don't want to just go shaking carpets around and blowing dust in the air, right? Like
Right.
that. So yeah, but that's important. We briefly talked about electromagnetic fields, but it does all that stuff. Restores damaged cells, inflammation goes down, hormones can get better, medication reduces, nodules can shrink. And again, why? We're charging the battery. Yeah, so anytime I ask that why question, what's the answer? We're charging the battery, right? So your body has more energy to heal. Okay. The other prong is actually nutritional protocols at work. I will tell you this, if you have autoimmune, you need to be 100% gluten-free. All the research shows that's a bad one, and then close second is dairy. They're really inflammatory, especially in our country. It's just not the way it used to be. So, yeah, we can talk more about that, but making sure you're eating right, getting the raw materials in. You also need the battery charge to make it work right. Question?
Sorry, on that note, when
Yeah.
someone is starting out, do you guys do any type of gut microbiome testing here to begin?
Yes, we
See what
can,
anything
depending
else
on the
going on?
case, yes, we can do that. We commonly run GI panels, and we can see what's good, bad, and different in there, and or food reactions. And we can also check through, like we did on the muscle part, we can see what your nervous system is reacting to that may not show on a blood test or a lab test, which is way more sensitive. Your brain knows, like, oh, don't do that, right before your gut's ever gonna tell. So that we got ways to play with that. I mentioned this briefly because a lot of people with thyroid challenges or fibromyalgia have joint issues and just pain. And so this is activating your normal stem cells. Your body heals way quicker. Inflammation reduces. All your Major League Baseball, NFL, it was all over Paris in the Olympics. Eagles have at least 2 in their locker room. It's like an orthopedic in a box. Okay, literally, pain reduces like crazy. You'll get easily 20-30% pain reduction after one session in most cases. Knees, like, knee problems, shoulder problems, it's almost like cheating anymore. It's just so fast and easy. When you get energy in there, it heals quicker. So we don't technically use it to treat thyroid, but other associated conditions, back pain, knee pain, ankle, like shoulders, joint problems, this is a home run. My own wife, Emily, she might be here by now. Anyway, addicted to caffeine, tethered to the sugary stuff, you've all probably been there. Yeah, right? So with that in mind, we did these same kind of protocols. And the idea, I knew she was brilliant when I married her, but now, with the brain fog gone and all the ideas she comes with are absolutely amazing. It is so incredible to see her mind really kicking in another gear. So we've got our own personal story with this stuff. Like I said, we live this. My daughter goes to sleep with a laser on her thyroid every night. She's like, Dad, where's my laser? Oh yeah. So this is part of our normal rhythm now. So, okay. Let's see how we did. You ready? Any questions on that while we get Kelly set up here again?
Can I just ask a question? You mentioned autoimmune.
Yeah.
Is that associated with hypo and hyper, or is
It
that
could go
not?
either way. So
Oh.
basically, autoimmune simply means, and Kelly, if you wouldn't mind standing here again. Autoimmune means your immune system is attacking your body. And then with that, you can have too much stimulus in the thyroid or too little, or it'll do this. Really commonly, it does this. But bottom line is autoimmune is attacking your own body. Okay? Yeah, good question. All right, now let's bring up that list again so I don't forget what I'm doing. Range of motion was fine, so we're going to skip that part. We'll check that. Teres minor, then the elbow. Bring the wrist back. I'm pushing toward your middle, don't let me. What do you notice there? Did you see that too? Like I was pushing on that thing, it's not moving. Bring the wrist backwards toward me. And that's also super solid. So that means we made a neurological change in her system. Okay? Let's check, we got 65 before. I'm gonna push toward your waist, don't let me do that. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20. Elbow straight. There you go. Yeah, she's like 20, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I'm pushing harder. 80, 90, 100, and still going.
Wow.
Okay, now your arm might get a little
Tired,
tired,
but yeah.
but it's not faint, it's in fatigue, right? That's a big deal. I don't know if I can underscore what a big change that is in her neurophysiology right now.
How long does it last?
Great question. How drained is the battery?
Yeah.
Right, so what I don't know is basically that, like how much we really need to charge it up. We saw a good result here, but like what else is draining the battery in her life and lifestyle that might be draining it? And like what other reserves are there? Where else might that energy need to go?
Can you buy these tools like for your home use? Or?
Great question. Most of our patients do. We prescribe the ones that are necessary for that case. But yeah, that's our goal really, is to get you tools so you don't need us. It's really that business model. Okay, but we want to get you guys the tools that you need to be able to take care of yourself and treat your families, right? Like, man, that's a whole new world. So great question. We'll talk over that in a minute. How about this? So this was
Sorry. Do you feel a difference?
that's a great question.
Yeah.
The patient feel a difference.
Yeah, what do you notice?
When he's talking about like, I'm not sure the word used, but like, there's like, yes, you're tired, but then there's like certain like the pressure point you did, like,
Yeah.
you can't. It's like when you pick up something and your arm gives out, like, there's certain things that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the different part.
What about your energy level? Is it different than 05?
Oh, I've been up and moving, so in fairness, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Because
I
you're
still
off the
asking
throne,
that
you're
one.
sitting and you're hot
Yeah.
versus up and
Right.
doing something. So
Yeah.
I do, but whether that's
Okay. Is it common to fluctuate from the fibers that usually is steady downhill?
if I'm up and moving, I can
Yeah.
push through.
You can put, right, so, all right,
hard.
you hear the wording? Push through.
True, yeah.
Do you feel like you would be pushing through now, or do you feel like you have a different level of energy? Honestly, I'm not trying.
Yeah, I mean, I am alert and feeling more awake now. Whether
Okay.
That's,
Yeah, and again, it's a but but that's curious.
Yeah.
And interesting that the mental chatter that goes there, like I have to push through, right? Yeah. And so that's when if you get enough energy, that language actually changes, which is pretty fun. So okay, thanks for being honest with that.
Yeah.
Let's check that tenderness. So that was annoying before. Is it still annoying, or
no,
it's like gone?
gone.
Okay. That's pretty fun. And this one was worse than the other one.
Mhm.
What do you notice there?
Still a little bit.
Less than
But
before.
better. Yeah.
So better. So yeah, it didn't fix everything, but we got some energy, and then
Yeah.
and the pain's reduced, which tells me inflammation has calmed down. Okay, and then we'll check that hormone team. We'll use the same arm.
Question for you.
Yeah.
I often get pain, not all the time, comes and goes over the years in this area.
And the collarbone strength.
Yes, very much in the collarbone. And
Yeah.
you- specifically in this area. Do you think that's thyroid? Or
Can be
not?
related. Typically the neurology to thyroid is coming from the C4, 5, and 6 region in the neck, and that also gives nerve supply to the scalenes, and that can give you some tenderness and other. And again, the brain, hypothalamus, and all that also relates to neck flex. So it's not. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility, but it might be a different scenario. It could be an old whiplash or who knows what.
Okay.
Yeah. Good question. So let's go back to the brain then. Hold that strong for me. Here we're checking the reflexes again. And let's see how we did here. Hold that strong for me. So that one's different, right? Like, let's have you touch the bridge of the nose. That was pituitary. Hold that strong here. That one's different too. You noticing that change? And let's have you go to the thyroid itself and the collarbone. Hold that up strong for me. Now that one didn't change, right? Am I surprised by that? Not really. Was I hoping for a little bit more? Sure. We've said this for almost 2 decades. But this also lets us know we're not making this up. Like we either fixed it or we didn't. We got that relay fixer, it's like gives us more information. So what does that mean? Something else is going on. We need some other kind of energy or something to make that. We're not guessing. We're going, oh, this actually isn't working yet. We need to get some more help. Let's go to the liver. Flat hand right there. Hold that one strong. That's happier. And then over the belly button area. Yeah, and hold that one up. So we got everybody but thyroid back on. Okay, which is pretty cool. And again, how long does that last? I don't know yet. But has anybody seen a neurological change that quickly before ever? Can you see why we make the claim 50 to 100% improvement? What if you had tools or availability to be able to work like that on your own body, day in and day out, and you did that for 3-4 months? 6 months, a year? Can you imagine the possibilities of your own healing and your family's healing? Pretty cool, right? Yeah. So, Kelly, thanks for playing. Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were having fun. Was that like, is anybody kind of like mind blown so far? Like, I had no idea this was even possible to heal at the speed of light. But can you see that, like, we're using basic physics and we only use light. We didn't use electromagnetics. We didn't use electricity. And we got those kind of changes in our nervous system like that. And again, think long haul. What if I had access to this for years to come? That's where our heart is at. Because if we can help support you guys with that, then families change and our communities change. And you're not dependent on coming to a doctor to get help.
Your medications.
Yeah, commonly we see when you're adding energy, what do you think happens to medication dosages? Yeah, a lot of them go away. So I'll be honest with you, that's one of the challenges because it's outside my scope to change your prescription. So we need to work with your primary and say, oh, a lot of the time we start doing this work and people are going, oh, I have symptoms of being over medicated now. And you have to go to your primary and adjust meds. Right? That's part of the journey. But then typically when things are working better, you may not need as much. If you've been on it for 2 decades, your body might be adapted to that and you might need some support.
I will say, for those who don't have it or wondering if you have it. I have, because I've lived a long time, I've certainly done some research.
Yeah.
And so I started drinking like ginger tea, fresh ginger, and just cut in water, you know. And didn't eat breakfast, whether you agree or not agree. But my medication, I started out when I first found it 175, which you probably don't know what that is, but that's high. High dosage, and I have now dropped to 100 micrograms.
Cool.
So there are things, and you talk about diet, so I'm sure you talk about that, and you obviously work on that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I believe that there is certainly other ways to heal ourselves besides just the medicine we're getting.
Yes, and ginger's anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
Supports digestion.
Yes.
So we've got anti-inflammatory, we got absorption improvement. You see why med dosages might change just on that. And then you're challenging or you're reducing sugar or insulin load in the morning.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different reasons why that would stop the drain on the battery and her meds can reduce. Like sometimes it's simple solutions. We don't and then you add energy to it with technology, and now you're winning, right? So these are the things I love. That's great. These are the things that we get to play with and talk about, like what's going to be useful and helpful, and how do we make the synergy of it all work together.
What makes you get really hot in the morning? After I take my medication, and then I would go to work and I would get super hot, almost just sweating
Yeah. So again, you're adding a dose of medication in there. Assuming it's thyroid medication.
Well, I had Cymbalta.
Okay, so that's a different animal.
Yeah.
Cymbalta is an SSRI, and there's other reasons for the bottom line though is when there's a fluctuation in temperature, your hypothalamus is involved. Okay, hypothalamus is your temperature regulator and temperature perceiver. So something's going on with the brain is what that tells me.
Well, it helped me with my tarsal coalition. I have tarsal coalition, basically arthritis in my ankle.
Yeah.
So that pain, it makes the fibromyalgia almost it makes it huge, and it goes through my whole body then, So after I'm tired, if I did sometimes I did 10-hour, 12-hour days, and I was exhausted, just worn out. So.
Yeah, it just drains you. I'll tell you straight up, the fibromyalgia is an energy debt toxic model. If we can get energy into the system and remove the poisons that haven't been able to leave, fibro gets way better.
Wow.
No, seriously,
Sounds
it just does. So yeah, in other words, you know what you're doing, or let's do something that's working, right? So these are common questions I get. How do I know if I qualify? Right? Sherry's back there going, I don't know about all this. I don't believe him yet. And that's fine. But we commonly see so what does that take? Right? It's gonna be, we do our assessment, we do our history.
Ask that question. Does my insurance cover that?
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. That's it. Everybody's thinking it. We'll talk about it. So yeah, and so we do that, and we look at the lab, we look at all the is there something that's a flag that's outside of our scope that we can support you with, and we figure it out. Okay, assessment takes about an hour. Treatment is going to vary depending on how long you've had it and what all's going on, right? And so those are challenging to answer, but I will say commonly, 3-4 months is not unreasonable to expect some really significant changes in how your body works. Does that mean everything's fixed? No, but usually we're seeing some major wins in 90 to 120 days. Yeah. Insurance coverage. What do you think?
I don't know. I got Heimer. I don't know. Does it cover it?
Great question. Answer is typically no. And so the reason most of the time is the technology is not. Medicare is the one that sort of runs the show on this, and so they have actually said in their guidelines if it's a care plan designed to improve your quality of life, it's not medically necessary. Crazy, right? Yes. They will pay for meds, they will pay for radiation, surgery, wheelchairs, whatever, but they will not pay for you to get better. And they also label laser, even though it's been around for over 50 years, right, as exploratory or experimental. And so the technology that we're using, like I said, the physics is all there. And the technology that exists right here in our office has all been around since at least the early 90s, if not before. And it's experimental, and so they cover none of it.
So
None of it.
now we know what Dr. Spock was waiting.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dr. Spock. Insurance didn't cover Dr. Spock's. But that's the sad reality, right? Like Medicare is just trying not to go broke. You know, they're not looking to cover the latest, greatest thing and actually make you healthy. I wish it were different. I will say if we need to do office visits or hands-on work or stress reduction, like there might be some coverage in your insurance plans for that, but the technology part is going to be out of pocket. Just to be straightforward with you and let you know how that works. Okay.
So can I just come in for a detox? I mean, I need to talk to you about other things too, but that's personal.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely
Can
know
I
what the history
start
of it
with
is like
detox
jumping
first?
in.
'Cause I
So
had
yeah,
that.
that's the thing. So again, my heart is to help you wherever you're at. So if the funds is a real challenge, we've got ways to help you solve that too. But yeah, I mean, we can start with where you're at and help you in your journey. That's our whole goal and heart is just to help you take the next step. Some people are going, I want the whole thing. I want to invest in a technology suite for my family, and I want to take care of my neighbors. And we had an Amish family come in, and they treat their whole community, right? So like, you know, those it depends on how you want to think about this. But we're here to support you in whatever step that looks like. All right, so yeah, investment in the health. If we're doing a whole technology package, I'll be honest with you, if you're doing like microcurrent, PEMF, laser, foot bath, and you're getting all that for your own home use, you're gonna be in the probably close to 20,000 range. Okay? If we're doing, and really that's a drop in the bucket. Man, you get a knee surgery done, that's $50K. Like right there. Anyway, that's a whole other story. And then, you know, whatever that would be, it could range anywhere from getting you started, you're probably in the 2,000 to 3,000 range to really get a decent plan and get some nutrition and diet and other support like that. If we're adding technology, then it's gonna, you know, can climb from there. Just to be straightforward. Is that helpful? Like we're not hiding anything, not pulling punches.
I have another place. I'm gonna chat with, so I'll go to my
Hey,
class.
thanks for showing up.
Yes, I'm gonna talk to the girls
Yeah.
and see how.
Chat with them, let them know.
Yeah.
And we're getting right to that point for those of you that are gonna stick around for another 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Really, it's not gonna be much longer.
I know.
So with that in mind, if you have something going on we don't specialize in, we're gonna get you in the good hands that do. I've got other colleagues that do like dentistry and whatever. We can get you the good people if you need it. How do you start using this? We're in a 2-step process. Day 1 is information gathering. We do our history consult, figure out what's going on. What are your goals? You know, like I just want to feel a little bit better, or I want to treat my whole family. Those are different goals, right? So we talk about that. We do our neurological thyroid exam. We check your heart rate variability, and we like to see things. This it's like a pulse ox on your finger. Autonomic balance needs to be in the middle, otherwise you're in fight, flight, or freeze. So this helps us measure where your system's at and if it's balanced properly. Also, we get a stress score. We like that to be in the green. And if your blood flow, right? If your circulation is poor, you heal slow. If you're type 5 or higher, I'm sending you to cardiology because we've saved heart attacks doing this. And when you're a 5 or higher, that's when MDs start to see that in their normal cardiac screenings. Because we're catching circulatory problems before it's an issue. Yeah, that should be in the balance. We do our physical exam to find out what your nerve system is doing. Are you in fight, flight, or freeze? And then how do we get that better? Go through all that information, any labs that you may have had or that we might need to order. And then we go through that and we go, okay, here's your plan. Here's what's going on. Here's how bad it is. Here's what we need to do. Here's what it's going to cost. Here's your financial option. And we go through that on the second visit. I would highly encourage you to bring someone that's in your healthcare team with you, any other loved one that supports you, especially if you have brain fog, because you always want another set of eyes and ears on this, and we encourage, we've had whole families come in. Mom's dealing with whatever, and the siblings are there, and it's just, when you got the support, so much easier on you. So we encourage that along the way as well. So that's the process. And here's the thing. Total value is $875. But like for Kelly, people that take action and actually get up here and do something about it, get a little bit more energy, get a little better, right? Or like Honey has said, I'm jumping in. So I want to encourage you and give you guys some gifts if you choose to move forward with this for spending a nice hour and a half with us today. Okay. So we're going to get you an energy boost treatment similar to what we did for Kelly, either in foot bath or laser or some combination thereof. That'll be part of your second visit. And we're also going to get you 25 anti-inflammatory foods and recipes you can start using right now to make changes in your system. Okay, would that be helpful? So I'm putting those in there as gifts for you. The total value then comes to $945. But because we know insurance isn't going to pick this up typically, we're not charging all of that. I had one test done for my own thyroid, one ultrasound for my thyroid. No doctor reading, no doctor, just the test. What do you think that ran?
7 something, I think it was.
Well, you got a deal. Mine was like almost 1,000. It was like 9 something. Yeah. But, so like one test. So I'd love to think we're giving more value than that with both visits. You spent a lot of time with us today. You saw some miracles happen with Kelly. We're doing everything both visits for $197 to see if we can help. So that might be a little too low, but that's what we're doing today. Okay. We're not a hard sell. If this works for you, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. If you call us back in a week or two and say, hey, I'd like to get an appointment at the workshop, we'll see what we have available. But this is obviously you first come. We've got certain appointments that are set aside for this. And if you want one, we'll help you get one. The simple way to do that is chat with Leslie's still here at the front, and we'll get you on the schedule. So we'll collect the $197, hold your appointment time, get you all the information you need, and then we'll send the recipes to you and all that and get you rolling. So that's straightforward and simple. Any questions on that process? Okay. Did you learn something valuable today? Saw something pretty fun?
Thank you.
Yeah, new worldview to look at for your healthcare. Awesome. Then I've done my job from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for being here today. Every one of you. It's just a joy to be able to share a new worldview, new information, and real hope for healing. If this was useful, I'd ask a couple things. If you wouldn't mind going to Google and just give us a review, that is a huge help because people telling people is way more important than me saying it, right? So if that's been helpful to you, we'd appreciate that. And just share with friends. Like, Honey's like, hey, Jenna, you need to go over here. Come check this out. So we appreciate that as well. If there's other people you know that could benefit from this information, by all means, we'd love to host them. Okay? Thanks for being here. I will be here if you have a couple of specific questions for your individual case because I hit and all that. I don't want to, open up for your personal questions. I'll be over here for a couple minutes, and otherwise, grab an appointment. Let's see you soon. Okay? Thanks for being here tonight.
So the first step in like this whole process would be to get the thyroid test.
Yeah, we do maybe. Right, so I think consult could be a really good idea, and that's going to let us know what sort of testing that you consider.
Right.
If we have that test, we know, but it doesn't tell us everything, right? It just lets us know is the brain communicating to the thyroid, and how much does it communicate. So we tend to run a deeper, more comprehensive panel, but that's needed, and then we can see how's the liver doing, how's the GI doing, is the immune system involved, like all those different disruption areas. We check all of that in our lab work. Most NPs for endocrinologists are really checking for narrow sliver to see what's happening there.
So you're checking that level too.
We're checking that level, but then we're going, okay, what about the other areas? Because if that one's normal, it doesn't mean everything is functioning normal. It just means that those numbers, the chemistry there is normal. It's like the physics is changed. We do that as well, yeah. So yeah, we look at the whole person.
So if you see something that was out of adjustment, something because I'm probably way under
It
adjustment.
depends. Like if your ankle's fusing, then yeah, you're gonna need some support with that.
Yeah, I've never been adjusted either. So.
And that makes sense. If you have fibro, that can be really painful. There are ways to do that comfortably, and there's also ways to enhance nerve system function, like you saw with the laser, where we're getting neurological change, and that can make a difference in because the muscles will remove the bone. Right? Yeah. So there's ways that we can work with that too, Brian.
If I could come off this Volta, I think I would be much happier.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
Because I just got on it because my ankle was killing me.
Oh, yeah.
Bad.
Yeah, there's some tough place where it's like, it's not solvent in it, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's a Band-Aid.
Well, I kind of work for the divine. And
Yeah.
keeps it like guiding me to do this.
Okay.
So I think that's.
Yeah. Well, you're that all the time. I mean, yeah, like we pray every morning. God, bring the people we need to help. So yeah.
He's the one that put it in front of me. So you didn't put it in front of me just to look at it. You looked at it.
Okay.
Because that might be my problem. Getting off. I've been already thinking about getting off of bread.
Okay.
So I would just would go to gluten-free bread and stuff.
I find it's better to just skip it.
Skip it all together.
Yeah. Lose the grains, just do veggies and meats and things like that. Yeah, use lettuce or make a bowl out of it instead of a sandwich.
So they're making like zucchini with cheese, is that okay or not? Because there's dairy there, right?
Depends on what you like. Depends. Simplest version, eat whole foods the way God made them.
Yeah.
And then skip the.
Well, he's like showing me to like eat figs and like nuts and stuff like that, like the old days.
Yeah.
Things that they ate back then.
Yep.
So
Yeah, whole foods are the way to go.
berries, blueberries are supposed to be really good.
Yep.
Beet juice that are selling.
Yeah.
That's on one of the apps that I just, it's been a whole week. I got tired last week.
Oh man! Wow, what a week!
Yeah, it's been incredible.
Okay.
I'm going through spiritual awakening.
Yeah, they usually go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Didn't start the shift.
Well, he threw me.
She said, "I'll send you for
So he's sending, I have to get prepared for what's up next. So
Yeah.
I have to get it all
I
together.
love that mindset. What's next? Okay, God, what are we doing? Yeah.
I'll be home talking to him. Like, what do we do? So you saw what we did. Like,
Yeah.
Is that something I need to do?
Yeah.
Because I would like to feel just healthier and then I want to be a health and life coach. I was on basically a Zoom yesterday, and then I talked to the woman today about how much it costs.
Yeah.
And that was reasonable too. Like for a 90-day course, under 5,000.
Wow.
4,500, I think, was roundabout where she said it was, and I was like, she said she's gonna call me back tomorrow. So I said hopefully.
Let's go through her 90-day program to become a coach.
And
Okay.
and I had pneumonia.
There are other ones that you might explore too that are similar price point with education and items.
Yeah, where it is.
So much stress.
Oh, so we
One
can see
time I was
too.
waking up every morning like this.
Yeah.
So I was hyper, and
Yeah.
then they put my medication for it, and I started seeing
I wouldn't say,
functions
but
on the
I
side.
think there's one
And then
yeah, and maybe
you're
some
normal now,
other
so
courses
we're
that
gonna
are
take
similar
out
in
meds.
price point.
We'll see if
You
you
have
have
to
trauma
get way more
like trauma
education and learning.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
have seen
That's kind of where I want, I want to tie up like all this stuff.
Yeah. Totally. And then, man, with this kind of information, so much help people.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, not the place I went to.
these are, I mean,
Yeah.
I could be sending with the people like you.
yeah, I mean, that could be one person, even like, users or OTC. A lot of the ones we get, I try to get OTC so people can have access to them, whether they're like, using our care or not. I want people to have the tools they need. So anyway, there's a lot that we can talk about for your future in
Well,
that
I
regard.
like your price. I know that's a savings right there. My wife said don't buy anything today, but I'm
Oh, yeah.
just gonna put it on the card because I know what's coming, so.
Yeah, all right.
The boss is sending me up, so
Got it. Yeah, got it.
this is the time. I don't know if you heard anything about that, but this is the time, so.
It just feels like
I'm not allowed to say anything else,
Yeah,
but
it's the-
it's the time. It's coming.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to-
And again, I had some money back and
We gotta get ready for big
But
things.
Yeah. Yeah. Ready. And yeah, we can walk around in this thing until he takes us home. So
He
that's
wants me to get off. I have to get off about 100 pounds. That's what I'd like to be back down where it's my high school. college weight, you know,
Okay.
Where is it? Where
Sure.
So I'm up almost to 300, so I have to get. So I'm doing that.
well,
But I think,
Hey, what's going on?
I think it's inflammation because I had
Yeah.
a TB last
Right,
year.
you're
and
not
after
sure,
that,
depending on the.
I felt so great. So I don't know.
okay.
I lost a lot of water that
Yeah,
day.
that's a good indicator. For sure.
My whole system has been like different since I had that.
Wow.
I had one before, but this time it was like totally different.
Wow.
It was like just, I cleaned out better.
Yeah.
If you cleanse it out.
They
Right.
didn't give me that, the other one that you buy in the store, the 2 bottles. and shit,
Yeah.
they gave
What was
me.
nice meeting you, I everything's good.
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
But I mixed it with my tea packets. I gotta go
Okay.
for that too. My Reiki master friend that I have, the Reiki master.
Bye, honey.
She's
Honey. He said.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Wait, fine.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she told me to get off the pack. Everybody told me to get off the pack.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get free too, so I'll get through that. So I'm making a lot
Yeah,
of
you're
changes.
in the right way.
1 week I'm making a lot of changes.
High five, man.
I'm trying. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be up to you
Okay.
again sometime. So.
Awesome. Sounds good.
I don't wanna hold you up too much longer because I know that went, longer. I was diagnosed with, hyperthyroidism, and this was 2022. I had just had my last child, I was 42, and I was out here with him, I was just telling Sherry,
Yeah.
and, I had pneumonia. And so I was in and out of the hospital dealing with that, and then after that, I went through a really stressful episode. And that has been a very long time coming, and I was under, you talk about fight or flight, I chose to fight this time, I was like, no.
Yeah.
And in my life, I have never been so angry that I felt my blood. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I can't explain how, like, I was trying to push out so much energy out of my body that it couldn't, and it like, I felt like it fit. Like, it was, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was too much for my body to handle.
Yep.
Needless to say, trying to make a long story short, within a month's time, 2 months maybe, I was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism, because I was waking up every morning and I was going like this.
Yeah.
And that's what sent me, the tremors are what sent me to the doctor. And so they did the test and they said, yes, it's actually raised.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I had that, and then I started doing research, and I said, well, okay, I'm gonna continue to see you, which is my endocrinologist. I said, I'm gonna see a functional medicine doctor as well.
Yeah.
And I did, they started putting on protocols, and checking my thyroid, that's why I asked you that.
Oh, yeah.
because I checked that. They found, and I know that there's that link between autoimmune and gut issues oftentimes. And sure enough, they found, she said, you have a lot of bad bacteria, H. pylori is one of them. She said, and virtually none of the good bacteria in your gut right now. And I wonder if COVID had to do with that. I wonder if it had wiped me out. I got really sick.
Yeah.
Kidding.
And it chronically stressful and think you're like,
Yeah, okay. And so, long story short, so then once I started being treated by them, I started feeling very sluggish then, and I'm going, whoa, I'm going from feeling hyper all the time to really sluggish.
Yep.
So the endocrinologist had come back in, we retested you, and he said, yeah, your levels are low, I'm gonna take you off the meds completely. That took 3 months to do.
Wow.
3 months I was on antithyroid and heart medication.
Yeah.
Because as I was waiting to see the endocrinologist, I still was doing this.
Mhm.
And the doctor who found it said, I don't want you to have an episode of heart.
Yeah. Right.
So I was on that too. And so he said, just basically, if you have any problems again, come back see me. He said, eventually, I think down the road, your thyroid may just like call it quits. He's like, but that'll be down the road. That's all I got left. That's it.
I know.
And so
Drives
fast
me
forward a
nuts.
little bit, I switched endocrinologists, of course. But even this new one, she won't even see me. I'm having discomfort in my throat. I almost wonder if I did something to my voice box because my voice feels shaky. And I've been with my worship team for a number of years, and I don't like. I backed away from singing and all of that because it's just it feels tight. I am going for, like I said, I called her office. She wouldn't see me. She's like, I'm going to send you for blood work. So I have recent tests that I could show you at the appointment.
Yeah.
She said, your levels are normal. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, Emily.
Yeah.
Jenna.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
We are just checking people out, and we're not sure exactly the price that you said for the seminar.
197.
197.
Okay. Thanks for finding out.
So she said your levels are normal. But I wanted her to see an exam.
Yeah,
Feel.
yeah.
She won't. So yeah, well, I mean, they say she's busy. We can't get you in, whatever. But really, she's like, as long as I know her attitude. I've seen her a couple times before, and her attitude is, if I'm not seeing it on your markers, then forget it. But she did tell me that I have Hashimoto's markers now, so I guess that would be one of those ones that over a course of years you'll go up and down. So one of my questions today is, how does like the whole hypo, those particular patients, how does that differ in your treatments here, or does it? Is it helpful for all conditions?
Wow, how old is she?
Conceptually, it's helpful for all of them.
Yeah.
Might change where we treat her, what vertical, like what that are you gonna charge next?
I see. Okay. All right.
Yeah, like just that simply would be like, yeah, so that's or if there's a autoimmune flare up and antibodies are high,
Yeah.
what's driving that? Is there
My
is it
antibodies are
stress? Is it microbiome? Is it what metals? What's causing that immune
Okay.
reaction to spike up?
She did also tell me that my antibodies will always be high. She said they won't come down.
That's not true.
Was another question. So I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, Laura's from 1,000 to
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if I go ahead and schedule, I have to speak with my husband first, because that's what we do. We always consult with each other. I'd like to get him in here for his blood levels, but, at that first appointment, then can I go over with you my recent thyroid markers, and as well as this upcoming Tuesday, the ultrasound results.
Oh, good.
So I went to my PCP office the other day when my endo wouldn't see me,
Right.
and she said, I'll send you for an ultrasound.
Good.
But she said, you feel good in there. I
Okay.
don't feel anything, that alarms me.
Good.
This whole thing with my voice box though, the shakiness, could that be thyroid?
Could be thyroid related, can also be different.
Be on the lookout for the
Your
and that's it.
movement generators, like for my vocal cords, they get tight as well. So that's one thing that can be thyroid lung disease. A whole number of things can drive those motor centers that go to the into the throat.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's more of the brain problem.
Do you test anything like that here? Do you handle anything like that? You do. Okay.
And thyroid can definitely relate to that for sure. Autoimmune could be a factor because the midbrain's highly susceptible to immune reactions and immune functioning.
Okay, but you know how to do the testing to determine one or the other, or maybe both?
Yeah.
Maybe a combination.
We both in.
Okay.
Very welcome. Have a great
I
night.
guess most of your physical exam, check that out, and then we can run labs or other things, but usually if you're having imaging done and labs already done, then do that ahead of time.
Except for the microbiome right now. It's been a while.
Okay,
for that.
how long has that been?
Several, at least
2-3 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I haven't been taking the supplements that I had been on for a while, the
Right.
probiotics, all that. I've just been off of them.
Okay.
So I wonder.
So, if you still have them, bring them with the supplements.
Okay.
So we can check to see if they're still working or not, or whatever.
Okay.
And how your nervous system's responding to them. And then, send any labs ahead of time, and then we've got some time to review it before we get into a face-to-face.
Okay.
We'll save a lot of time on that too.
Okay.
Yeah, check with your husband, and if it's helpful, like if there's a low spot, all get one at this point to make it easy on you guys.
Okay.
As a team, I'd rather have families together than not.
Oh, bring him into the appointment with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we'll check you both at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
With different focus, obviously, but
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, because he's hurting too. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Oh, of course,
For all the information.
Absolutely.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks for being patient and sharing.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, how can I help you?
No, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
As far as I've had 2 needle aspirations to check for cancer. So I have it right. And does any of this help decrease that, or is that something that has to be surgical?
Depends. I've seen nodules. Is it nodule or are they?
Yeah. I
Um,
have supposedly 3. This one you can visibly see.
okay.
And then the other side was I had to go back twice to that side because that was questionable when you went back with the testing. I guess something about not enough cells.
I see.
And when they retested the second time, it came both benign.
Okay, good.
Both sides.
Yeah, most of them are benign. And in short, depends. Some of them go away, others don't. If everything else is functioning right, then it's usually not a big deal.
All blood work came back normal,
Okay.
on no medication or anything like that.
Okay.
So my concern is why? Well,
Yeah.
I went through like trauma a little over a year ago. My husband left and convinced all my kids to stop
Oh my.
fucking. So I lost everybody. And slowly getting better with the kids. I mean, I have 3 grandkids too, and I used to watch them on a regular too. So,
Yeah.
and then this started.
Okay. Emotionally, it goes with abandonment and having no voice, or not being heard, or even unrequited love. All this love to give, and there's no one giving it back. So emotionally, all those things connect to thyroid. So that's a whole other aspect to look at. We didn't dive deep into that, but emotions are a big player. That's why I looked at hypothalamus and all that. And then if nodules are an issue, often autoimmune's a player with that. And it's like,
Which I do have, psoriasis.
okay, so then yeah, there's autoimmune happening. Under that, emotionally is like, I have to beat myself up or something. Like, I have to make myself pay, or I have to attack some part of me. Like, is the emotional connector with autoimmune. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, why am I beating myself up? What's it about? Yeah, so there's ways to quiet that down. And with the microcurrent, actually, there's protocols for psoriasis. And like literally, you name it, we can put electrons into the tissue that needs it and charge the battery back up.
And that's the,
I didn't actually go over microcurrent. That would be, since we got one available here, we ran it a lot today. It's a device that looks about the size of a cell phone, and we can program that device with whatever we need to protocol-wise. And the application is with these gloves, which are just graphite gloves. They work better than the sticky pads.
okay.
And so that way you don't get all this adhesive if you're using it in hours at a time. And then one goes on the skin and then back, one goes on the belly, you get the current to go through. And then, literally anything from a disc problem in the back to liver enzymes, thyroid, you name it, we can put energy into those tissues, brain, PTSD protocols. It's unbelievable what we can do to support with this stuff.
Okay.
And then, briefly, as we leverage all the different types of physics, so we do that and laser and electromagnetics. Now we're like supercharging the system, and things just start to heal so much quicker. Things that we could never get to before, because like if the gut's compromised, it would take 3 to 6 months to get something to improve when Now we can do it in way less time in most cases.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's been a huge game changer. So to give you a little extra for hanging out today, that's what that is.
Okay.
Everybody, have a good night.